But we start tonight tracking Tropical Storm Alberto moving over the Gulf of Mexico. And here's a live look at Port Aransas. You can see heavy winds whipping up the waves along the coastline. Alberto hasn't made landfall, but it's already dumping heavy rain on several cities nearby. Take a look. Here's what it looks like in Matagorda County, a couple hours outside Houston. We've seen the water hitting the top of street signs in some areas. And they're definitely feeling the impact of the storm in Galveston right now. You can see the waves just crashing against the coastline there. We have seen several inches of water on some roads. And again, you can see the winds whipping up the trees and causing that camera to shake. All right, let's get a look at what's happening with Jason Miles from our sister station in Houston. He's about 40 miles south of Galveston in Surfside Beach.
Well, parts of Surfside right now inaccessible thanks to this tidal surge, an issue that is ongoing. Take a look behind me. That is the Gulf right there from where all of this water, sea foam, even sand is flowing into some neighborhoods here in Surfside. We've been from one end of this municipality to the other today, including on the intercoastal waterway side of Surfside, where the only very top of an abandoned vehicle was visible poking out of the water over there. Now the west end is where the most impacted homes are. You can only reach some of them by boat if you're trying to get to them in the first place, but it appears many people knew the weather was coming and they left in time. Keep in mind, many of these places are weekend homes or vacation rentals. Meanwhile, first responders and others spending this federal holiday closely watching Alberto.
This thing hasn't even hit land yet. So until it hits land, we don't know what we're going to be expecting.
That's the mayor of Surfside. Another high tide expected early tomorrow morning, so that could mean additional tidal surge. One longtime resident was surprised to see it this high, considering how far away Alberto is centered. So far, I'm told there's only been one medical emergency here in Surfside, and that was unrelated to the weather. Unfortunately, right now, the rain has ceased. Reporting from Surfside, Jason Miles, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jason. You can take a look behind us. That's Port Aransas right here. Pete, what are you seeing in terms of this storm right now?
This is about as bad as it's going to get. Now, we're going to have a lot of rain, you know, in interior Texas. We're going to see a lot of rain, coastal Texas and the interior. But, I mean, this is kind of at its peak right now. It makes landfall in about 7 or 8 hours, but it's down in the central Mexico coast, down around Tampico, down around Tampico. Let me show you what's happening outside right now. There's all the rain. Now, the rain that's falling, obviously the surge that you saw, you know, around Galveston, that's a whole different deal. That's the surge, that's not the rainfall. But the rain that's falling in South Texas, it's a welcome sight right now. Right now. By this time tomorrow, it may not be welcome, but drought conditions exist in those locations. Here's the center of the storm. There's Tampico. There's Brownsville. That's where the Rio Grande dumps into the Gulf of Mexico. Watch this. There's the system. Makes landfall, a weak tropical storm. The center of the circulation's down here, but all the activities, well, I mean, hundreds of miles to the north of it right now. Makes landfall around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, so 8 hours or so from now, it'll make landfall down there. But that's where we have our tropical storm warnings that are in effect all across the Texas coast from right just south of Galveston all the way down to Brownsville. There's the surge up in Galveston, 2 to 4 feet, 1 to 3 south. So Port Aransas is right here. We're looking at around a 1 to 3 foot surge, and there's your rainfall totals. That's additional. That's on top of a couple of inches that's already fallen. And once again, these locations need rain. They don't need 6 inches or more, but that's what's in the forecast. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm talking about a little rain here, and the heat returns. Highs today only in the 80s, upper 90s are on the way. The forecast details coming up.